What we are covering today, it's mainly theory, but there are examples in there. There is a hands-on scenario that we are building onto. Um, what is Data Cloud? We are going to cover that, significance of Data Cloud, key features, hands-on scenario. What are the different editions and licenses within Data Cloud, even though it's a consumption-based licensing model? As you know, Salesforce has their own license for every cloud. Data Cloud is is inclusive of that. You're going to talk about Data Cloud use cases. There are many different use cases for different industries. We're going to talk about them on a high level, how Data Cloud can supplement each of them. And finally, we'll talk about principles of data ethics. So what exactly is Data Cloud? Now, Data Cloud is built on a Salesforce platform. That's one of the key criterias. I would say there are many other data platforms out in the market, but they are not tightly integrated to Salesforce to an extent where you'll feel like they are the same. They are the same platform. We'll go into detail how they are or they are not the same platform. But it says Data Cloud is built to ingest the data at hyperscale within Salesforce platform and bring all the data, not only from Salesforce CRM, but from any enterprises that you have in Data Cloud to present you a unification Customer 360. Salesforce has been building on Customer 360 for a long time. Data Cloud is just supporting it to an extent. What does Data Cloud do? It harmonizes the data from disparate sources, unifies customer profiles, it builds insights into the unified profiles, which can be segmented and activated. Within this line, we have a working classification of what Data Cloud is. It ingests the data, it harmonizes the data, it unifies the data, it segments and activates the data. You'll hear this a lot from me because that's the crux of it. These are the keywords, and this is the bare bones of Data Cloud. You need data to harmonize. You ingest the data, you play with the data, you harmonize it, you unify it, you probably perform some insights, but the main goal again will be segmentation and activation. You receive data, you unify data, and then you send it out for a certain reason. And what it all does, it helps you build a comprehensive customer 360-degree view for customers. That's what Data Cloud is. So for you, as a CRM user, to know more about your customer, to make decisions faster. If you have AI in between, again, all of that data can be supported to hyperscale your UI interactions and make your UI a bit more smarter, a bit more contextual for your business. What is the need for this? What is a need for Data Cloud or any data platform for that matter? This slide deck is not specifically for Data Cloud. It's for any data platform out there in the market right now. Now, AI revolution is actually a data revolution. The more data we have and the richer data we have, AI will be able to perform accurately with less hallucinations and with more context. We all have seen that. We all have experienced by now different models of AI, be it ChatGPT, be it anything else, and you yourself can testify where AI can do wonders versus where AI is still starting. And it's mainly related to data as well. And that's no different with Salesforce CRM or Data Cloud. The richer data we have, the better AI can perform. Hence, as market is looking or enterprises are looking for data platforms which can ingest data at scale, considering these 5 different attributes, and will be able to process data for various reasons. AI is one of them. Now, the modern data enterprises requires following key criterias, which is velocity, variety, veracity, volume, and value. We'll go through each one of them. Velocity is ability to ingest data at various speeds and frequency. Again, the first thing is ingestion. Any data platform should be able to ingest data at various speeds, at various frequencies, from various different systems. That's really the intent for data platform, to receive data. It doesn't have a data of its own. It has connectors and it can bring data from various platforms. Variety, able to take multiple data in multiple data models. So you have data in multiple models from various different platforms. Now we are talking about enterprises who might be working with 2, 5, 10, 15, 20 different systems, even more than that. And not one system will have a same data model. We all have seen that. Salesforce CRM has a different data model. ERP, be it SAP or anything else, have a different data model. Marketing Cloud has a different data model. Commerce Cloud has a different data model. We have seen through that every different platform is built in its own way for its functionality, but any data platform should be able to ingest a variety of data in multiple data models, and then map it to a single data model. That's very important, and that's what harmonization is. As we'll go through this class, we will do a hands-on by ourselves, and we'll be able to realize how powerful it is to bring data from multiple models and relate it to a single data model within Data Cloud. But that's the expectation from any data platform, not just Data Cloud. And you have Veracity, capability to use matching rules and deduplication to create unified profiles. So we have gone with ingestion, harmonization. Now we add a unification stage. So we are unifying the profiles. We are trying to find common attributes within contacts, within B2C data model or B2B data model or business model. So you're going to find matching contacts, matching accounts, matching person accounts, etc., to start building the unification. Then you have volume. You should be able to bring the data at highly scaled cloud-based infrastructure. You should be able to bring massive data into your data platform, again, from various different sources. And as we go through Data Cloud, we'll realize there is data which we can ingest at scale, like we can bring all the historical data. Then there could be data which might be drip feeding to us in a near real time. And based on the customer that you're working with, the organization that you're working in, and the scale of their business will define how much data are you ingesting historically or regularly. And finally, the most important thing is value. You should be able to connect the data to systems outside of your data platform, share the data outside of your data platform so it can be utilized. Now, this is where the business will be able to realize the value. If you look at it, the first, second, third, and fourth are moreover the steps to come to an outcome, steps to bring value to the business. That's what the last point does. And in Data Cloud, we call it segmentation and activation, or data actions, basically sending the data out where it should go, why you ingested the data in the first place. But value should be driven by any data platform. All right. Challenges to meet the data needs. As we were just discussing, there are companies who have a lot of applications and they are disconnected. Disconnected may mean that there's no integration. There might be also an integration, but again, there's no clear classification of deduplication rules. There might be duplicates in CRM versus your Commerce Storefront versus your Marketing Cloud versus your ERP. So disconnected can mean one or two things. One is it's completely disconnected. Second, it is connected, but it's not connected to an extent where you'll be able to identify myself, like Neeraj, as an individual, no matter how many profiles I have. That's one challenge. There are definitely many more challenges. These are just the three of them. Data is present in various applications. An average company uses 1,000 applications. Now, it might be starting from your Outlook to your Notepad to your Salesforce to your ERP. Most enterprises uses a lot of applications. And again, that ties back to our first point where the more applications we have, the chances of being disconnected increases significantly. And there's a difficulty in creating a single source of truth. because you do have multiple phone numbers or duplicate phone numbers, you have multiple email addresses, known and unknown data. As Rajiv has said, that in Marketing Cloud, we always work with known and unknown data. You have two different kinds of profiles. That's a similar situation even within Data Cloud. You have social profiles. You do not have any profile. You have profiles where there are no names. And again, there are anonymous users using the guest user. So the bigger your enterprise is, the bigger your organization is, the bigger your customer is, the chances are they will be into the last segment where they'll be getting, they'll be interacting with customer at different platforms, and customer might be using different information for different platforms. I think the next slide should give an example of that. But these are not just the three challenges. I think disconnection is one of the major challenge. Not able to control your customer's behavior can be another challenge, but there can be a lot more challenges within data. When it comes to data, it can be quite wide. Now, what is the challenge of creating a unified profile? We take an example in here. It's we do have Service Cloud, we have Marketing Cloud, Commerce Cloud, and your Salesforce communities. You do also have in-store point of sale solution and your BI tools. This is only a Salesforce architecture, Salesforce ecosystem, but very confidently you can replace a Commerce Cloud with any external experience side. Adobe Experience side, for instance, Shopify, again, to an extent. You can replace Salesforce with Zendesk. The intent is to inform you it's not just about Salesforce ecosystem. You can replace some of the platforms with any other. The Data Cloud will still work in the relevance of the example we are about to discuss. Now, your customer is interacting on your storefront from a commerce platform by two ways. They are doing a guest checkout and they are using Samantha Smith as a name. They're using sam@mstyle.com as an email address. And of course, they have a same mobile number versus they have a logged in profile as well. They're using Sam Smith and a different Gmail address for this. So in a commerce platform, the same customer already have two profile at this point in time. Now we all have been there. We all create multiple profiles with the same provider for various reasons. Our work email, our personal email, we may have two or three personal emails. And that's where our challenge starts for Data Cloud or for unification, especially where in here you've already seen Samantha is a two-person, like Samantha has two different profiles on Commerce front. When from Commerce we go to Service, you'll see the same behavior where you have Samantha and there is a mobile number versus there's another contact which has the same name Samantha, but just the email address. So two different contacts, one has a phone number, one has an email address. We go down the line into your point of sale solution, in-store point of sale solution. It may have a bit more information. It may have the name, it may have the number or the email address, but it also has a unique ID for the SKUs that they might have bought. Your marketing profile, to this extent, it feels like they're using subscriber key as an email, but you again have two different email addresses. That means two different profiles for Samantha. Similarly, on a community profile, we are having Samantha Stylish Sam as another profile. All of this is bringing to a point where there is no single platform where you can go in and try to understand who Samantha as a customer is. This will also limit you to understand what is the overall customer lifetime value for Samantha for your business. If you have loyalty platform or if you have loyalty system, you'll not be able to credit enough loyalty points to her because for Samantha, the points are segregated. Maybe she has done 5 orders from the guest checkout and 10 orders from commerce profile. The total might be coming to 10,000 points, but she's only getting fraction of it somewhere here and somewhere there. That's again not good for Samantha. That's not motivating her to come in and use the logged in profile, again, from where we'll be able to give a much more personalized and richer experience. So there are various reasons why you want to know Samantha as a person within the organization for relating with them and trying to get more business, or trying to understand how valuable that customer is, what's their customer lifetime value. This is a challenge that we are trying to solve with Data Cloud. Data Cloud can ingest data from all these systems, can perform, like, that's the ingestion stage. You'll have different data models from all the different platforms. That's where the harmonization comes in. And then finally, you have unification, where you'll be able to identify Samantha Smith as a person from a service cloud. We will know that there are two different contacts. There is one in-store contact, which has an SKU that they have purchased. In Marketing Cloud, there are two contacts. From Commerce Cloud, there are two contacts, one guest profile and one a commerce profile. When we are doing hands-on by ourselves, you'll realize how powerful a data cloud becomes when we have performed a unification. Unification, when I say, it's nothing but matching and deduplication rules, bringing your multiple touch points, your multiple contacts, your duplicates together, consolidating them together, stitching a picture for you where you'll be able to go in and look, in this case, Samantha as a person, and see all of this information at a single place. Not only their personal information, but also the orders that they have placed, the emails that we have sent, the engagement journey within Marketing Cloud, within Commerce Cloud, or any other platform. We'll discuss about the hands-on scenario. The reason we are discussing about a hands-on scenario at a very early stage is to emphasize on the functionality, the way Data Cloud works. It's very similar to a CPQ implementation. It's very similar to an implementation where you need to know what needs to be done or what is the business requirement upfront before you go in and start configuration. You'll realize in Data Cloud in tomorrow's session that the hands-on is not the problem, and that's not where we should jump right in. The main part is to understand what customer wants, what their use cases are, then trying to go about and understanding from where the data is coming, from where, like, a very minute detail, a field level detail, attribute level detail is coming or will be coming from. What are the transformations? Documenting it all, getting a sign off, and then going into configuration. When we will do configuration together, you'll realize the configuration is not difficult. It's in fact fairly simple, and it's mainly admin focused. It's point and clicks. The most you'll do in some of the trails or some of the sessions is SQL. That's the technicality. Like, that's as much technical as it gets. Otherwise, everything is point and click. But it is simple. It's not easy. It's difficult to understand the use cases. It's important for us to know from where the data is coming, at what frequency, at what time, etc. That's why we are bringing this hands-on scenario. Now, we have a fictional customer, General Allen International Airport. That's the name of the customer. There are three different systems that the customer is using. First is for airport parking, where you are only booking for parking and airport launch and managing or canceling your booking. So you have a separate system for parking within the airport. You have another system for airport rewards. Now, this is for shopping services, for food. You can also book a parking from here, and again, an airport launch, manage and cancel the booking. Within that, there's a rewards management system. So no matter whether you park or you shop, you will be getting certain points to collect, to spend, and to transfer. And there's also a help page from where you can fill out a form for complaints, for inquiries, for thank you. And if you are not logged in, you can also use the chatbot at the bottom right page. Provide your first name, last name, email address, and again, raise a case using a chatbot. So there are two ways of interacting with General Allen International Airport. One is using a parking system, other is using a reward system. Well, we have also created an architecture diagram to help you understand further. We talked about your parking system. This is a legacy parking system. This is quite old. They have recently, or I would say not even recently, they have moved to a rewards management system about 10 years ago, where they've replicated the functionality of parking, but it's much more than parking. As you've seen, it's reward system, it's shopping platform as well. They have Service Cloud where they are managing cases. If I go back, you'll be able to review. There's a help page from they can fill up a form. So that's a web to case scenario where from their reward system, they can redirect cases directly into Service Cloud. Even from the chatbot, they can redirect cases into Service Cloud. So we already have Service Cloud in the architecture. That's an existing implementation. We have platform, Salesforce platform, custom objects being configured. That's an existing implementation. Data Cloud is something that we are doing for the first time for this customer. So our intent, our job will be to go in, understand the use case, implement the use case within Data Cloud as part of this bootcamp. You'll also notice that there is a mention of AWS S3 because the rewards management system do not have a direct connector with Data Cloud, and there's no middleware. We do not really want to go into a point where we are spinning up a new Heroku instance or an external instance trying to connect it with Data Cloud. And that's the general use case. Wherever you see you cannot integrate directly with Data Cloud, an SFTP storage or a bucket will be a fail-safe plan. I've used it many, many times where it could be because you do not want to perform an integration. It could be because your source systems are not API enabled. The reason could be anything, but you can always rely on a file storage system, an external file storage system, where you drop the files in here in a CSV file, and then AWS will connect with Data Cloud using the standard connectors. That's what we are going to build towards here. When we talk about parking reservation cases and parking reservations, this is an existing implementation based on the previous slide, where when someone parks from a legacy parking system or a new parking system or rewards management system, the parking reservations are being synced with a custom object in Salesforce. Also, the cases are being synced with Salesforce. So this is an existing implementation. Our focus will only be on Data Cloud, configuring Data Cloud for this customer. And to receive information, we are either going to rely on Service Cloud to ingest data into Data Cloud, or we are going to rely on AWS S3 to ingest data from rewards and management system into Data Cloud. The next slide, exactly the same way you have Salesforce CRM. We do have cases created and logged by customers or via chatbots. You have parking details. It's coming into Salesforce CRM from your parking and rewards management system. Your order and rewards management systems their data is extracted and available in AWS S3. And this is not a made up scenario. I've worked with implementations where we have utilized such structure or such I would say integration pattern to integrate with Data Cloud, to bring data into Data Cloud using AWS S3. Right, I'll move on. Now, within the cases we discussed about, there are three types: complaint, inquiry, and thank you. There are subtypes as well. Again, the subtypes are not interdependent to a type. So within the complaint, you can have a car parking complaint. You can say thank you for car parking, etc. So you have subtypes and types and subtypes. These are the use cases that we will be working upon. Now, so far what we have understood about the customer, it's more about their architecture. It's more about what they have right now, about their existing landscape. This slide will help us understand what do we want to get out of Data Cloud? Why are we using Data Cloud in the first place? So these are the 4 use cases that we will be striving towards during our hands-on scenario. And when our hands-on is complete, all 4 of them should be ticked. All of 4 of them should be successful. We'll do the same. Like that's really the intent for for a real life project as well, where probably your customer will not know exactly what they want, but they should know what they are looking for. Are they trying to increase, understand the customer lifetime value? Are they trying to, target a certain set of customers where they need a segmentation based on demographic information, based on their loyalty points, based on anything else? These are the use cases that defines what you need to bring into Data Cloud and how to configure Data Cloud as well. So your first scenario is General Allen International Airport wants to increase number of parking spaces with electric charger for this airport. They want the customers who have previously parked in parking spaces with electric charger so that a promotional email can be sent to such customers. So they have increased the parking spaces within for electric chargers, especially within the airport. They want to target a specific segment. Maybe it's again bringing the customers back who have already parked. That means we know they have an electric vehicle, hence giving them a promotion and trying to promote the increased parking spaces. That's one use case. And if you look at it, the use case is very marketing cloud focused, um, where we need to understand the segment. We need to understand the customer who have already parked, bring that data, and then send a promotional email to them. A promotional email can be sent from Marketing Cloud, from any other marketing platform. We can just I would say activate the data or send the data out in an AWS S3 as well. The relevance is it's one of the marketing use cases where you want to segment a customer and you want to take an action, send that information to a platform where the emails can be sent across. It might as well can be Salesforce platform where you're sending an email. So from where you're sending is irrelevant, but what actions are you taking to activate the data? When I say activate the data, send the data outside of Data Cloud. This is one of the common scenarios that we see with marketing platforms. Your second scenario is identifying customers who have high loyalty point balance and they have not made any purchase in the last 3 months. Again, there should be a way where we can inform them they can redeem their loyalty points. So this is another way of segmenting, understanding the customers who have high loyalty points, haven't spent in the last 3 months. Now you can send an email, you can notify a customer service, you can keep this as a dashboard within the customer service informing this can be a customer who you can reach out to and understand how we can help them in making a purchase. So this is a very open-ended use case. All we need to do is segment the customers and then we can send the data wherever we like. It can be a marketing platform, it can be Salesforce CRM, it can be any other platform as well. But again, the intent is to identify customer from various different places. When we'll go into reviewing the data in the next classes, you will see the data is not necessarily is coming from Salesforce CRM. The data should be coming from Salesforce CRM and also from your AWS S3, which is your rewards program. The third scenario is identifying customers who have given a low CSAT score in the past and are also member of rewards program so that such customers can be compensated appropriately. Again, the end goal is not clear and you'll have the similar requirements where you do not have a clear end goal. Are we going to send an email? Are we going to do anything else with the data? The point is, in such cases, you have to rely on the first part, which is your segmentation. How are you going to segment the data if it's the batch of the data? The second part is much more simpler where you're going to activate it. The important part is to ingest data and make it ready to send out. And then lastly, you have General Allen International Airport who wants to decommission your airport parking system, your legacy airport parking system, and continue with only the new airport reward system. They want to provide seamless experience to their customers using website and app. That's why they are making this decision. We need to identify customers who have only access to the parking system and they have never logged into the reward system. again, so that customers can be informed about this proposed change. So think of like a end of life for a particular platform, for a particular website. They want to notify customers to move to the new platform or give them steps how they can keep using a new rewards program, a rewards platform instead of the prior one. So you have seen four different use cases. In every of the use case, there is a similarity where we need to identify a set of customers from our whole heap of customers. So it's segmentation. In short, we can do that in Salesforce as well. You might ask, we can create reports, we can create list views, we can write epics. Not necessarily we will have data in Salesforce for all of it. When we will look into the data in the next few sessions, we will realize the data is scattered across Salesforce CRM for cases, for contacts, versus you have data for loyalty, for sales, for other information in your rewards program, which makes sense. Your Salesforce is a Service Cloud procured instance, which will take care of cases. Probably you'll receive parking reservation information, but everything else will happen outside of Salesforce. And that's where Data Cloud comes into picture. It tries to integrate multiple systems together, tries to create a unified profile. The use cases are quite important. So have a look at it again after the class, or we'll come back to this. Like I'll explain this multiple times to you how much important use cases are. And anytime we are doing hands-on, we'll try to tie it back to why we are doing it. And even in the real life scenarios, where in the real life project, the use cases are quite important. We have to start with why the customer has procured Data Cloud. What is the intention for them to use Data Cloud? How are they trying to get return of investment in their business from the use cases? And then we go about and identify how we can achieve it within Data Cloud. Right, let's cover the Data Cloud features. We have been discussing about Data Cloud for about an hour and a half. We discussed about how the data can be ingested, sorry, not how, but data can be ingested, it can be harmonized, it can be unified, and then it can be segmented and activated. To ingest the data, Salesforce has a lot of connectors, native connectors, standard connectors, where you can connect the data with Salesforce CRM. The reason we say connect with Salesforce CRM is because Data Cloud and CRM are not the same thing. They are not the same instances, even though it feels like that. It looks like that. That's why you have a standard connector with Salesforce CRM. It covers sales service. You have connectors with Marketing Cloud personalization. You have connectors with Industries Cloud, which again is part of CRM. You have connectors with Commerce Cloud. You have connectors with Order Management System. So think of Salesforce ecosystem. It does cover most of the commonly used clouds for integration just by point and click, which means you just have to go into the setup, do a few clicks, and you're connected. The same thing is with cloud storage. You'll be able to ingest data from Amazon S3, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure buckets. You do not have to perform any development. It's all point and click. You'll be able to connect to any of these buckets within a few minutes. That's the same situation with data lake and warehouses. Snowflake and Google BigQueries are one of them. There is also a feature called Bring Your Own Lake, where you can connect and you can feed Data Cloud with your data lake data. You do not really need to replicate the data in your Data Cloud. You can bring your own lake. Data Cloud can still work with that. Then you have mobile and web SDKs. These are the ones where you'll need a bit more focus and a bit more development work or a bit more configuration work. You have mobile and web SDKs. You can connect your websites. You can connect your mobile apps with Data Cloud for a near real-time data or for bulk of the data. Then you have APIs and SDKs. You also have APIs that can be exposed for your ETLs, for middlewares to bring data from legacy systems. So there is quite a wide variety how you can connect with Data Cloud. You can connect at hyperscale. Again, that's the same thing. You can connect using the out-of-the-box connectors. Many of them are out-of-the-box connectors in here. You can connect with MuleSoft Anypoint Platform, bring your own lake, data bundles. This is something we are going to discuss further. You can ingest the data in streaming or batches. Streaming means near real time. Batches means you're getting chunk of the data at a particular frequency. And similarly, the way you receive the data is the way we will transform the data. There's a different data transformation streaming versus there's a different data transformation for batches. Once we receive the data in Data Cloud, the next step is to harmonize it. For harmonization, you have certain things such as data spaces, data models, data mapping. Then you have identity resolution for unification, and then data graphs for real-time visualization. We are going to go into each of these concepts in detail, but this is really all the features that we have. By this time, once we do the harmonization and unification, you have created a single source of truth. So at this point in time, you have identified uh, Samantha as a customer. You There's definitely a next step to it where we can further drill down, we can send the data, but as soon as you perform your unification, as soon as you perform your identity resolution, you have created a single source of truth within Data Cloud. Moreover, I would say a reference within Data Cloud where you can look at the data holistically. Once you have this view, we can activate the data. We can segment the data like we discussed. High loyalty points, haven't made a purchase. That's a segmentation. That's something we can do. Automations, we can send the data outside of Data Cloud using, again, the standard connectors, or we can build a connector for ourselves. We can have calculated insights to perform calculations on this unified data. There is analytics. We can send the data for analytics. We can send the data for AI within Salesforce, outside of Salesforce. We can also use the same in Copilot Studio. So there is a lot that we can do once we have performed an identity resolution or unification in a sense. So this gives you an idea of how you can ingest data, like using out-of-the-box connectors, middleware, bring your own lake, harmonizing the data, activating the data. So ingest, harmonize, unify, activate. These are the 4 steps that you have to remember in the exact sequence. And you should be able to, like from ingestion, you should be able to drill down and go further into connectors and further things that we have to discuss. But this is the core, this is the concept. Ingestion, harmonization, unification, and activation. Right. The first thing is connect. You can connect effortlessly, integrate with Salesforce platforms or external platforms using a pre-configured connectors, or you can also have custom APIs or MuleSoft to bring the data. It's there. Like Salesforce has invested a lot in it, or in integrations, how you can receive and send the data, because this was a bottleneck in 2021 when we just started the implementations on Data Cloud, there were not a lot of connectors, even with Salesforce platform. And because of that, there wasn't a lot of adoption to Data Cloud. You cannot always upload the data in a CSV, or you can't always rely on your buckets. So there are various ways of connecting and bringing data into Data Cloud. Pre-configured connectors, APIs, bring your own lake, but then you have MuleSoft as well as an option. It's not just MuleSoft, it's any middleware that you can use. MuleSoft, because you come with, Data Cloud comes with standard connectors for MuleSoft to make it easier for you to connect with your sources and bring the data. So that's your step 1, connection. Second is harmonize. You are going to systematically arrange your customer data into cohesive, standardized data model aligned with Salesforce Customer 360 platform. So you may receive contact from Salesforce, customer from Commerce Cloud, maybe ship to and bill to account from your ERP system. you can bring all of that information in Data Cloud, and we can map all of them to standard data models. So standard Data Cloud data models. So for a contact, for a customer, the Data Cloud calls it as individual. Now, no matter where you're getting the contact from or your customer information from and what you call it, you might call it contact, customer, party. There are many ways of calling this entity in various different platforms. But the intent is for harmonization, we are going to map it to a standard or a specific data model within Salesforce Data Cloud. And by that, you'll be able to realize the power of bringing multiple data in multiple schemas and mapping it to just one schema. That's really what harmonization is. You do not need to perform any coding for this. It's all point and click. The next thing is unification. Where we'll be able to consolidate customer graph or anticipate, adapt customer preferences, requirements in real time by presenting unified profiles with their interactions. Unified profile unification is also called as identity resolution as a feature in Salesforce Data Cloud. Wherever you hear about identity resolution, it means unification. It means performing matching rules and deduplication rules to bring your multiple contacts, multiple customers with the same information, but scattered information. One contact may have first name, last name, and email. Other may have first name, last name, and phone number. Other may have a different email address, but the same phone number. There are various ways how you can perform and consider the matching rule, but the idea for unification is apply effective matching rules, which can bring those contacts together, which can stitch a unified profile for you within Data Cloud. And once that's done, the data is ready for calculating the insights within Data Cloud. It's also ready for analysis within Data Cloud. We can send it to an external system for analysis as well. Then you have analyze and predict. Once we have performed the unification, we can perform insights of the unified customer within Data Cloud using calculated insights or streaming insights. We can identify things such as customer lifetime value, total loyalty points, forecast trends and patterns within Data Cloud. But the standardized and unified customer data model within Data Cloud serves as a foundation for generating insights such as customer lifetime value. So we need to have a unification first, then only you can rely on the insights that you're getting. If you do it before that, the insights may be unreliable because you haven't really performed the unification. You haven't really identified the common customers. So your insights will be fractured, will be fragmented as well. At this point, once we have performed a unification, we can also send the data to external artificial intelligence systems or business intelligence systems for analysis and prediction. And finally, you have activation. Now, this is where we have those unified customer profiles. We can create segments for our customers, like the 4 use cases we have. It is at every point in time is trying to segment and is trying to send the data outside of Data Cloud. That's what activation means. You have a part where you have performed an insights. Now you are either creating a segmentation to send the data to Marketing Cloud, or you are simply sending the data to your Salesforce Lightning pages. You're initiating the flows. Activation means in any shape or form, you're using data to perform things within CRM, within Marketing Cloud, within external platforms. That's really the intent behind activation. It can be using segmentation. It can be using data action. That's another feature within Salesforce. But the intent is to send the data to its relevant place so that external systems can perform an action or can get a view of a unified profile within that platform from Data Cloud. The data cloud lifecycle, again, connection mean ingestion. We ingest the data at scale. Harmonization, where we harmonize the data models. Customer graph gives you a near real-time view for your ingested data. You perform right in here, you perform your unification, identity resolution. Then the data is ready for analysis and predict. Finally, you're going to activate the data by various different actions. So ingest, harmonize, unify, activate. All right, we have talked about what data cloud is, what it does. Let's also talk about what data cloud is not, what data cloud cannot do. A data cloud is not a data cleansing tool. It is definitely not a data cleansing tool. You shouldn't really expect for Data Cloud to ingest the data, clean the data for you, transform. It does have transformation capabilities. It can do some level of cleansing, but that's not really the intent. Because your customer, if customer is buying Data Cloud for these reasons, then they are not going to get the optimal result out of it. It's better off going with some other platform which is purpose built for data cleansing. It'll have rules, which is more on cleaning the data, also applying that cleansing activity to your source systems. Data Cloud cannot do that. Also, Data Cloud licensing model will make it cost inefficient to do this activity within Data Cloud. Data Cloud is not a master data management tool. In one of the classes in future, we'll talk about Golden Record and how Golden Record is not same as Data Cloud Unified Record, Unified Profile. But master data management does a lot of things. It does ingest the data from various different sources. It tries to create a golden record, try to create a golden ID for that record, which is reliable, which you can share with external systems and use it. Master data management is also sometimes also goes back to your source systems and overrides your source system values. Data Cloud cannot do any of it. It's more over a system of reference where you can ingest data at scale, you can visualize the data, you can unify the data, and you can perform many other things like insights, transformations, etc. But it's not even close to master data management or a golden record creation within master data management. That's a very important part. You'll be asked a lot of time, "Oh, can we use Data Cloud as a master data management?" The simple answer is no. They are two different capabilities. Data Cloud is very close to Customer Data Platform. That's what the name was of Data Cloud was, CDP. It's very close to that. It's not even close to a master data management. Now, if you have worked on master data management before, or if you know about the concepts of it, we'll try to touch base it again in the future sessions. But you'll get to know more about as you see the working of Data Cloud, how it is very different from master data management. The data cloud does need governance, but it's not a platform for data governance. It's not a platform where you will be effectively able to visualize all the data, perform, or I would say apply the governance rules, review the reports, run the reports. That's not the idea of data cloud. That's not the intent of data cloud. The data governance is required, but data cloud is not the platform for data governance. It is definitely not a platform for backup and disaster recovery in any case. It 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 does stores the data, but it's very inefficient again from a cost point of view to just keep a backup of data cloud. You'll be underutilizing it a lot. Like you'll be using just 2% of it if you're using it for a backup, and it will be a lot more costlier than own company, own backup, Salesforce backup, any other backup platform that you can think of. It also doesn't have capabilities of archiving and restoring the data. Hence, again, it's not a disaster recovery platform. And finally, it's not a business intelligence platform. When we will do perform hands-on in Data Cloud, you will realize that it uses Salesforce standard reporting. So that's what you can use. It doesn't have a business intelligence of itself. It doesn't have fancy dashboards. There are ways how you can view the data, but that's very minimal. It's for spot checks. It's for It's for you. It's for viewing the data in a tabular format. It is not a business intelligence platform at all. We can of course integrate with CRMA, with Salesforce reporting, with external BI intelligence platforms, but Data Cloud itself doesn't have capability of business intelligence. All right, different editions and licensing. We'll spend least amount of time in here. You need to know about what are the different licenses you have. You don't really have to go into too much detail until you're, of course, doing a hands-on or you're working with a customer. So you have ad audience. This is an additional feature license on top of the licenses. So everything that we talked in these two slides, it means you have already procured Data Cloud and you're trying to get additional feature licenses on top of your Data Cloud. So you already have a base level of Data Cloud instance with yourself. Now the base level of Data Cloud instance comes with um, your connection. So you get all the connections, you get harmonization, you get unification, analysis, and predict. You get some features of activation. You don't get all the features of activation. That's what you're going to talk about. And also, you have different data spaces. You can get more data volume, etc. Data storage. So ad audience is one of the feature license where once you get it, you'll be able to generate segments and send the segments to advertising platforms such as Meta. So there's a specific feature license for it to exposing the data, sending the data, deploying the data to advertising platforms such as Meta. That's one feature license. Another and very important feature license is segmentation and activation. Before Data Cloud was Data Cloud, it was CDP, Customer Data Platform. And at that point in time, this wasn't a feature license at all. So all the CDPs, even right now, the customers who have CDP as Data Cloud, they will have segmentation and activation within their bill of materials. So when Salesforce started Data Cloud or changed the name from CDP to Data Cloud, it also changed the fundamentals, which is Data Cloud is not only for marketing purposes. If you are willing to use Data Cloud for marketing purposes, you have to go for an additional feature license for segmentation and activation. We are going to perform hands-on on segmentation and activation. So our assumption is for our use case, we already have segmentation and activation as a feature license on top of Data Cloud. There is also, this license is also based on credits. So how many records are you segmenting? How many records are you sending for activation? All of that is being considered. When we talk about consumption-based licensing, we will come back to this feature license and talk about it. But for our use case, we are using segmentation and activation. If you're a marketing cloud professional, segmentation and activation becomes a no-brainer for you as a feature license with Data Cloud. Then you have platform encryption for Data Cloud. Anita, you asked the question, you have to purchase an additional feature license to manage your own keys and encrypt the data at rest. With platform encryption for Data Cloud, you can buy more storage beyond allocation that is possible. You can go ahead and buy a feature license for sub-second real-time service usage. It's mainly when you're using real-time processes a lot and you have utilized your current usage. There's a new feature called Data Cloud One that has come in October last year. We're going to talk about it in detail, but that's an additional feature that is available as well. I'll not go into too much detail. Just know that there's a feature license for Data Cloud One, additional connection, and companion org. When we are discussing in the next session, we'll go into detail of what Data Cloud One is. Now we are moving towards the Salesforce use cases, and we will end up with data ethics and the data principles. These are very high-level use cases. We'll not spend too much time on it. If you have questions, feel free to call out right now. Also review the slides later on. And if you have questions, if you are more interested in one of the use cases, one of the industries, I'm more than happy to spend time with you in future sessions. Now, starting with financial services, how you can utilize Data Cloud in financial services. Also, please note, we'll cover both the aspects in each of the use case. Your batch data synchronization, where we are ingesting data in batch and we are looking at all of the data, but also your streaming data, which is your near real-time data, how you can use both the features of Data Cloud in data in any of these sectors. It's being demonstrated or it's being called out in here. So for financial services, we can utilize segments to pinpoint a significant life milestones, like a person has graduated, their first job, their marriage, their childbirth, divorce, retirement, inheritance. All of that will eventually call out for a financial service. It can be a loan, it can be an investment, it can be an insurance. There are various ways how financial services can engage with a customer. And for that, you need to know who your customer is and I would say, at which stage in their life they are in. For that, the data cloud can be utilized to look for your customer holistically and across multiple different platforms within data cloud. That's a use case for segmentation. If we go to the streaming use cases, Data Cloud is not a fraud detection platform, but it can perform a certain capability of it. So with streaming insights, if Data Cloud is ingesting transactional data at scale, Data Cloud has features where it can look at a point in time and you can define if the transactions and the number of transactions and the value of transaction exceeds a certain point, you can send out notifications to external platforms. That's what it means from an identity potential fraud, the potential fraudulent transactions. Now that's a possibility. We are not suggesting Data Cloud is a fraudulent management system. There are many more extensive systems which have been created for this, but it can be a gateway to trigger a fraudulent um, management system or an identity theft management system where Salesforce can identify within a point in time how many transactions have been created, what's the value of the transaction. For instance, you have put in a scenario where if 10 transactions across a period of 10 minutes exceeds $15,000, create a platform event to inform Salesforce CRM or send an information using a webhook to an external system. That is all possible using streaming insights and using the streaming data within Data Cloud. That's more near real time, but the above one will look holistically into all the data. That's the difference between these two ways how we can ingest the data and then utilize the data. Then you have healthcare and life sciences. We integrate the data seamlessly with various different healthcare systems to create a unified health score. Now that's easier said than done. Healthcare space is one of the most complicated ones in terms of segmentation or unification because you have to be precise. You cannot make a mistake of identifying someone else as a patient. Hence, there has to be an extra caution kept when creating a unification in the healthcare space. But once it's done, you'll be able to look at various different data points across different platforms, bring into Data Cloud, and that can enhance your patient care. Onboarding the healthcare providers can be efficient as well, where you are reducing the churn risk by consolidating the insights from multiple platforms and sharing it with the healthcare providers. You have retail and consumer goods. Like I have used Data Cloud a lot with retail and consumer goods, where you go ahead, you consolidate. The main problem is for retail and consumer goods, there are just too many touch points, and customers go crazy when for various reasons, for getting a new voucher, for getting the promotion for the first time, for getting the first order free. There are various reasons why we do certain things like registering as multiple email addresses or going as a guest user. But the idea will be to consolidate the customer profiles, trying to target a specific audience for an advertisement, and and trying to hook them back into a journey for an individual, for a company to understand a customer as an individual is very important. And that can open a lot of avenues, like what was the total purchases for you. We can provide a value to the customer by informing, if you use your one profile, of course you will be in the top tier, and that might be a way of motivating them to staying on track, to using one profile and engaging the customer, understanding who are the highly engaged customers. That all is possible with Data Cloud. Once we ingest the data, we perform the unification, we can get a holistic picture of who the customer is. We can utilize a real-time engagement data again to identify major movements in the customer journey, starting from abandoned cart to delivery notifications. Now, you all have seen the cart abandonment has significantly improved over the period of time. Previously, we used to receive an email like next day when we have something in our cart. Now you'll receive a notification within the next 10 to 15 minutes. And that's possible because of data platforms like Data Cloud, where you're able to ingest the data at scale in near real time, and you are able to inform the relevant systems of what needs to be done, how to engage a customer, how to provide a promotion at an exact point in time when the customer expects the most. For media and communication, determining the media consumption habit of a customer in real time to keep them engaged with relevant content. Think of Netflix, where it can send you emails that a new movie has come in, or it can provide you suggestions based on what you have watched. Here are a few suggestions for you. Again, it's to keep you engaging. It's to keep your subscription ongoing. That's really the intent for them, and that is possible because they are able to ingest the data in near real time for the media consumption you are doing. Uh, Reduce the subscription churn by predicting the likelihood of churn before it happens. That's another important part. You must have seen we do unsubscribe from a lot of streaming channels, from a lot of streaming platforms because we are not watching them. But if they are doing a good job in keeping us engaged, keeping us providing us recommendation, improving their platform, then of course we will keep subscribing with them. And that's what the second part means, where we can perform a prediction based on the activity a user is taking on the platform, or the user has taken in the platform for the last X number of days, and understand those customers, engage with them even before they unsubscribe. Customer service, enhance problem resolution by accessing a customer's real-time unified profile. Now, for a customer service, nothing is better than and having a look at everything at a single place. That's where we started the Salesforce Customer 360. If you realize, Salesforce became a hub where all the data can be ingested and can be stored within Salesforce platform. Of course, it has limitations. We cannot bring all the data into Salesforce CRM. The customer service still have to switch between Service Cloud to any other Salesforce cloud or any other non-Salesforce platform. Data Cloud can reduce it to an extent. Uh, once you have data in Data Cloud, you can easily surface that data onto Service Cloud. And it can be any data that you're ingesting. It doesn't matter if it's coming from AWS, from your commerce platform, from your ERP. As long as the data is in Data Cloud and you have unified it, we can expose that data onto Service Cloud to customer service team. That's a very important feature of Data Cloud, and that's why Service Cloud is being heavily used with Data Cloud per se, because it enables history, it enables engagements for you beyond Salesforce CRM and beyond the existing integrations that you have. For sales, determining the optimal purchase window for a new device and services by looking at the historical transactions with real-time behavioral data. We get the data in real time. We are able to analyze and predict whether it's the right time to pitch for a particular sales or a product automatically or manually. This can happen using a personalization studio. This can happen using an interaction studio, marketing cloud personalization, where you're receiving data from a system and you're able to feed that data onto your website by increasing your sales. That's one possibility. You can send the data directly into Sales Cloud. That's another possibility. This is quite open-ended when it comes to sales. Sales can happen direct or indirect using a B2B or B2C channel. But yes, as long as you have data in Data Cloud, you can decide where to activate that data. It comes to where are you activating it. Transforming customer service into an upselling opportunity by fostering the shared customer 360 view for encompassing subscription management and sales. Again, with the customer service, having an extensive information of what's in your cart, what are the products that are in your wish list, what do you like, what are the current promotions happening. If you combine all of that for a customer service team, the customer might be calling for a complaint, but they might end up, end up being happy, receiving a promotion, receiving a product that they wanted for the last 3 months. But it's only possible when the customer service is empowered with the information of the past and the information of the future of what they are really looking forward to. Then you have marketing, where we deliver hyperscale personalized communications across web, email, and advertisement channels using unified profiles in real time. Marketing Cloud is one of the most commonly integrated platform with Data Cloud. Your CRM, Data Cloud, and marketing makes a perfect mix. Of course, you need more data than just these three for your hyper personalized communication scenarios, but you can connect with Marketing Cloud with personalization, with engagement, send an email at the right time, send an advertising content at the right time, engage with the customers on the web channel using personalization as well. The same thing is applicable with commerce, with Salesforce Commerce Cloud, where we can perform an automated and personalized experience by leveraging the real-time unified profiles, providing products, providing services, recommending products. That is all possible with Commerce Cloud and Data Cloud because there's a native connector. You can activate the data within Commerce Cloud as well for such purposes. Of course, the I would say the personalization scale will vary. The Commerce Cloud will have a limited capability of personalization rather than products like Marketing Cloud personalization, who are purpose-built for personalization, will definitely have more control over personalization and will be able to leverage more data points from Data Cloud. And finally, analytics. As soon as we unify the profile, the data is ready to be sent to an external system. Tableau or any other analytics platform will be able to receive the data and will be able to analyze. Now, what to analyze on will depend on what kind of data we have in Data Cloud and what's the purpose for the customer. All right, let's look into applying principles of data ethics in Data Cloud. Now, principles of data ethics, it's not just for Data Cloud, it's for any platform that we are using. It's for Salesforce platform, it's for marketing, it's for commerce. You have seen data principles being applied as part of GDPR or any other data policy. This is an ethic that Salesforce recommends for Data Cloud, but it's not just for Data Cloud. Now, the first one is respect customer preferences. Now, to ensure that customer preferences are respected, the organizations are held accountable for maintaining these preferences. That means if there is a preference of not processing the data, that can be one preference. We need to consider that, and we need to consider that when configuring Data Cloud. That's one of the possibilities. Another possibility is customer preference in terms of communication, notification, and marketing. For that, utilizing unified profiles to understand your customer preference holistically will make a lot more sense. As in, let's say I am engaging with a website, with a commerce platform website, with 4 different emails, I have opted out in two, I have opted out in two. That means it's a 50-50%. I have subscribed in two versus not subscribed. What your company considers it as a preference for sending notification, and what's the best practice in the market, what's the legislation in your region. All these questions needs to be answered as part of data ethics. At the end, it will come down to, once you have unified the profile, you know the customer preferences, you know my preferences for email. For two, it's a no. For two, it's a yes. What your company is going to decide whether they should send an email or not send an email, because they know me now as an individual. These are the ethics that we are talking about. So customer preferences can be two ways. One is processing the data within Data Cloud. Second is respecting the preferences or subscriptions, unsubscriptions that you have within multiple profiles and unified together. You can see all of them together. Second is transparent value exchange. Offer a clear and tangible benefit to the customer, why their data is being used, what are they going to do with the data, and what value are they going to get. So it has to be an equal exchange. Again, it's not really from a technical purposes. We are not going to configure anything in Data Cloud. It's more of a data ethic and the principle that an organization should follow. Handle sensitive data with care, exercising caution when dealing with data such as age, gender, citizenship, political affiliation, etc. Not using it to an extent for segmentation that might come in the next slide, but that is using the sensitive data effectively. The basic rule is, if you don't need it, don't bring it. If you don't need the data, don't bring the data in Data Cloud. That's what it says. Minimize data collection. Collect and utilize only the necessary data, avoiding unnecessary data gathering for demographic, socioeconomic, behavioral, and transactional data. And that's, again, your use cases are very important. You need to know what you want to do with Data Cloud, what are the things that you need to use within Data Cloud, and then only bring the information that is relevant, that is needed. Going back to here, exercise caution when dealing with sensitive data. Data Cloud do not have any smarts which will stop you from doing a segmentation on age, political affiliation, or anything mentioned here. You are free to do any segmentation that you like on any attribute, but that's, again, a general principle of data ethics where you shouldn't really be performing segmentation on the sensitive data. And that calls directly with minimization. If you don't have it, you will not use it. If you don't need it, don't bring it. Carefully select partners. Now, that's not just for Data Cloud, that's for any organization that is trying to send the data outside of Data Cloud. When sharing data with third parties, we need to make sure that the parties understand the chain of custody. So if at a point in time the customer comes to you to delete the data, you should know that your partner or your relevant third-party partners will respect that as well when you send that notification, when you send that intimation. Review contract thoroughly with activation partners. When we say activation partners, that means the data that's going out of Data Cloud. So review your contractual obligations clearly. Your data should be in the right hands. They shouldn't really be using for anything that is not a principle, that is not a data ethic. Ensure partners properly delete or dispose data as required. If required, they delete the data. Partners with entities that uphold strong data ethics to mitigate risks and safeguard customer privacy. Now, again, all these principles are mainly when you're working with an external partner, with a third-party partner, you're trying to send the data to the partner, and you do not have control over their systems. It's not really about sending data from commerce to marketing platform, especially when you're managing both of them. there will definitely be a contractual obligation between your organization and Salesforce. But in this case, we are talking about third-party partners where you have hired a marketing firm to send out communications. You from Data Cloud are sending data to that marketing firm in their preferred instance, in their preferred platform. That's where this becomes a lot more critical in understanding how your data is being used, disposed, and shouldn't really be shared anywhere else without your authority.